Hello and a huge welcome back to all you focused learners out there joining us for today's explainer. If you're fascinated by perfectly structured systems and just unbelievable biological efficiency, you are definitely in for a treat today. We're looking at an invertebrate from the phylum Arthropoda that is, frankly, an absolute masterclass in teamwork. Okay, let's dive into this. We're exploring the ultimate organized society, the inside of the honeybee hive. I want to start by posing this question directly to you. What actually makes honeybees the ultimate social insects? We toss the term social insect around a lot, right? But in a beehive, this means living in a colony with absolute unwavering coordination. We're talking about a level of perfect work division and strict discipline that would literally put the most advanced human corporations to shame. So, how do they do it? To answer that, here is our map of the hive today. First, the hive's social structure. Second, the miracle of parthenogenesis. Third, metamorphosis and life cycle. Fourth, the worker bee's journey. And finally, why honeybees matter. All right, section 1, the hive's social structure. Meet the characters. A honeybee colony is basically a highly efficient corporate enterprise made up of 3 distinct characters with absolutely 0 overlapping roles. Now, what's really interesting here is looking at the visual differences. Notice the queen on the far right. She's easily distinguished by that super long, tapering abdomen, along with her shorter legs and wings. Then, right in the middle, we've got the drone. See the flat bottom? The drone is larger than the worker, smaller than the queen, and has this very black, hairy body. And then on the far left, we have the worker bee, the smallest of the 3, characterized by a very distinct V-shaped bottom. Let's focus on the ultimate founder of this enterprise, the queen. There is only one queen in a colony, and she is the sole fertile female. And her daily output, it's staggering. She lays up to 3,000 eggs a day. What's kind of crazy is she usually mates only once in her entire life. She actually stores the sperm she receives from the drones in a special sac in her abdomen, and that store can last for 2 or more years of continuous egg laying. But she doesn't just lay eggs, she's the ultimate manager. She controls the entire colony by releasing a very specific smell. Every single drone and worker identifies their home colony solely based on the unique sense of their queen. A healthy queen? Well, she'll live and lead for about 2 to 5 years. Section 2. The miracle of parthenogenesis. Unbelievable biology. Now, here is where the biology gets, honestly, a little unbelievable. Look at the genetic mechanics between drones on one side and workers on the other. Worker bees, which are the infertile females, they hatch from fertilized eggs and carry 32 chromosomes in their body cells. But the male drones, they hatch from unfertilized eggs. They literally have no father. No way, right? They carry only 16 chromosomes. If a queen runs out of stored sperm, she's going to continue to lay eggs. But because they're unfertilized, every single one of those eggs will become a male drone. This bizarre, totally fascinating biological reality actually has a name: parthenogenesis. It's the process by which drones develop entirely from unfertilized eggs. And let me tell you, the life of a drone is uniquely tragic. They don't have stingers, they don't collect food, they actually just feed on the honey collected by the workers inside the hive just to stay warm. Their one and only function is to fertilize a new queen during what's called a nuptial flight. But here's the catch. After mating, the bulb of their reproductive part actually breaks off inside the queen, and the drone dies instantly. That's it. Their sole purpose is fulfilled, and their life ends right there on the spot. Let's move to section 3 and see how this builds. Metamorphosis and life cycle, from egg to adult. Once those eggs are laid, whether they're fertilized or unfertilized, they have to go through a profound transformation. Honeybees undergo what is known as complete metamorphosis, completing their life cycle in 4 distinct stages. First, the egg stage, which lasts exactly 3 days for all types of bees. Next is the larva stage. They hatch as these almost microscopic, legless, eyeless creatures, and man, they are voracious eaters. After several days, the workers cap the cell with wax, which kicks off the pupa stage. Inside that sealed cell, a massive reorganization of tissue happens. This involves histolysis, which is the degeneration of the old larval tissues, and histogenesis, the formation of brand new adult tissues. Finally, the fully formed adult emerges. And this brilliantly illustrates exactly what that looks like. Looking directly inside the wax comb, on the far left, you see that tiny, white, elongated egg standing up in the cell. Moving right, you see the massive, segmented larva filling up the space. Then, you see the incredible pupa stage, where the distinct shape of an adult bee, the head, thorax, and abdomen, starts to form inside that sealed environment. Finally, on the far right, the mature adult bee chews its way out, ready to get straight to work. But wait, how does a larva actually know to become a worker or a queen? Well, it all comes down to diet. Meet royal jelly, a gelatinous substance produced by glands in the heads of worker bees. For the first 3 days, all larvae are fed royal jelly. But after day 3, worker and drone larvae are abruptly switched to a diet of just honey, water, and pollen. However, if a fertilized larva is fed exclusively on royal jelly continuously past that 3rd day, that specialized diet completely alters her destiny. She won't become a worker, she will develop into a fully fertile queen. It is quite literally a case of you are what you eat. Section 4. The worker bee's journey, the engine of the colony. Now let's shift our focus to the real engine of the colony, the worker bee. In a single colony, there can be anywhere from 20,000 to 80,000 of these infertile females doing absolutely all of the heavy lifting. Their lifespan ranges from about 6 weeks to 6 months, and they have an incredibly strict, age-based division of labor. Think of it kind of like a corporate resume that builds day by day. For their first 1 to 3 days of life, their job is simply to clean the hive and keep the eggs warm. Days 4 to 6, they graduate to feeding the mature larvae. By days 7 to 11, special glands in their heads develop, allowing them to produce that vital royal jelly. From days 12 to 17, wax glands in their abdomen activate, and they become construction workers, building the honeycomb itself. Days 18 to 20, they become security guards, protecting the hive from enemies. And finally, after 21 days, they earn the right to fly outside, spending the rest of their lives collecting nectar and pollen. It is just a lifetime of relentless, perfectly organized service. Section 5. Why honeybees matter, from micro to macro. So we've looked really closely at the microscopic workings inside the hive. But why does this all matter to us? Well, humans have recognized the value of bees for a long time, leading to apiculture, which is simply the commercial rearing of honeybees. In places like Nepal, species like Apis mellifera and Apis cerana are actively reared. And this isn't just a hobby, folks. Apiculture is a crucial agricultural practice that directly improves the economic conditions of farmers worldwide. So the crucial point is that the value of honeybees extends far, far beyond just giving us something sweet to put in our tea. First and foremost, they're absolutely essential for plant pollination while they collect that nectar. Without them, much of our plant life would just fail to reproduce altogether. Then there are the physical products. Beeswax is heavily utilized in toiletries, shaving creams, and cold creams. And honey itself? It's a medical powerhouse. It's rich in vitamins, functions as a powerful antioxidant, strengthens our immune system, and even helps prevent diseases like heart disease and arthritis. Which leaves us with a pretty heavy thought to ponder as we wrap up today's explainer. Considering their immense economic importance, their incredible health benefits, and their absolute necessity for pollinating the plants we rely on every single day, could our entire agricultural system actually survive without this highly efficient, microscopic society? It's definitely a question that makes you appreciate every single worker bee out there doing her part. Thank you so much for learning with me today, and as always, keep staying curious.